All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Duval County Rams fan, and we got a little bit of news. Got some new news to go through here. A little bit of bad news, unfortunately. Justin Hollins, our edge rusher, will be out for a little bit, uh, and will miss a considerable amount of time. And there's going to be some updates on Darrell Henderson. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it a little bit. The LA Rams placed linebacker Justin Hollins on injured reserve on Wednesday following to the decision to have the injury to repair his torn pectoral muscle. Hollins is going to be out for a little bit, according to Sean. The Rams know that for sure he will be required to miss at least 3 weeks while in IR, but the realistic timetable is much longer than that. McVay did not rule out Hollins returning this season, however, and McVay is quoted here saying, "We'll see," when asked about second-year outside linebacker Darrell Lewis was on track to start against the Cardinals. Lewis had 2 tackles and 1 quarterback hit in our victory over the Bucks, one of which was a huge hit against Gronk, which took him out of the game for a considerable amount of time, which I thought was pretty badass. It was that alone gave him a standout in my eyes for that game. It was a heck of a hit, man. It was legal too. It looked real good. So he continues by saying, Darrell Lewis played 34 snaps, which was by far his biggest workload to date. McVay is hopeful that Obo Okoronkwo will return this week after missing the first 3 games with a shoulder injury. On offense, McVay is optimistic that Darrell Henderson will return to face the Cardinals after he was held out with a rib cartilage injury. So, it looks like Justin Hollins is going to be out for a little bit, which is a shame because he was playing very, very well at the outside linebacker position outside of on the other side of Leonard Floyd. And I thought I saw somewhere where he was going to be out for 10 weeks. I thought I heard that on the podcast. I guess I was mistaken. So that is not confirmed anyway. It's basically they're not giving us an exact timetable. They're saying he's just going to miss a considerable amount of time. After the guy had surgery to repair his torn pectoral muscle. So I mean that just sounds painful. So I'm sure that Justin's going to be gone for a good while. So. And if he's been placed on IR, and if a player is placed on IR, that means they are required to miss at least 3 weeks. So he's gone for at least 3. We know that for sure. But you can almost bet money that he will miss more than that because tearing a pectoral muscle will more than likely take more than 3 weeks to heal. So he's gone for the foreseeable future, which is a dang shame because we need all the edge rushers we can get. But he says he did not rule him out returning this season, which is good, which means that we might get him back just in time for the playoffs, which would be amazing if that could happen. If we could get him back by the time before the playoffs start, I'll be happy. Because barring a huge collapse, it's looking like we might go this year. So get well, Justin. There he is right there, taking on Andy Dalton. Hope he get better soon. This will open the door for the likes of Darrell Lewis and Obo Okoronkwo. Obo is coming back after having a shoulder injury, so I think this is the guy Sean will start, at least initially, just to at least see how he performs because they've invested a lot of time into Obo, and I think they feel they want to get some return on that investment. The same with Terrell Lewis. I think that's why both these guys made the 53. And I initially said I would have cut them both just because I know that sounds cruel, but you got to be able to be available to get on the field, and if you're not, then there's not much use for you. But Obo's coming back. They may want to put him on there just to see what kind of services he can provide, how well he can rush the passer, stop the run, contain the quarterback, which will be a tough test this week against Kyler. But I think he'll get him too. He'll pepper in Terrell Lewis, I'm sure. I don't think Terrell Lewis is going to start. I think they want him on a pitch count, basically because of his knee. He has a lot of knee issues, which sucks, but that's just the reality of the situation. So it'll probably be them. Let's see. I know Justin Lawler has a broken hand. I don't know what they're planning to do with him. But also, we went ahead and, based off the fact that Hollins is going to be gone for a while, we went ahead and claimed outside linebacker Jamir Jones off waivers from the Steelers. So, Jamir Jones, so now that we know Hollins is going to miss some time, in this tweet, it says Sean talking about Jamir Jones, which addressed the needed depth that we need at that outside linebacker position. He is quoted by saying he had put some good stuff on tape and that I have a lot of trust and confidence in Les Snead's evaluation in our personnel group. Okay. So, I don't know a whole lot about Mr. Jones, but here's some measurables. He is 6'3", 255. He signed with the Steelers after going undrafted out of the University of Notre Dame this year. He surprised Pittsburgh so much that he earned a spot on their 53-man roster. That's a good sign. After a strong preseason and started in place of T.J. Watt this past week due to injury. So he was good enough to make their roster, which is telling. The speculation was that they waived him in hopes that he would be able to return to their practice squad, but Les Snead pounced on him on the waiver wire. Okay, so he was good enough to make the 53 to replace TJ Watt while he was injured, but when he returned, I guess they felt they were comfortable putting him on the practice squad, that no one would come get him. I guess they didn't feel comfortable and they didn't feel confident enough to just leave him on the 53-man roster. But they wanted to just kind of hide him away on the practice squad, and the Rams are known for doing this too. Every team does it. But Les seems to be keeping his eye on him, and we took him off, and we grabbed him. So I'm sure the Steelers are a bit salty about that because it seemed like he played well. He had a strong preseason, including 9 quarterback hits, 2.5 sacks, and 13 total tackles. His 9 quarterback hits were the most in the NFL for the entire preseason. Being able to make the Steelers' 53-man roster with all their talent on defense speaks volumes to the type of player he is. It does. It does. So, Mr. Jones is known. He's a strong tackler, very good. Y'all know I like my physical football players. Who is known for bringing down opposing players on first contact. I love hearing that. I love hearing this right here. This is good. This is good. This is good. Will the LA Rams front office hit on another waiver claim like Justin Hollins? Only time will tell. Okay. So, judging from these numbers in the preseason, he was very active. He put up decent numbers, which tells me he's flying around on the field, which is good. That's what we want on defense. He appears to be very physical, so that's him right there. He may be good, or at least a good rotational piece. They will. I don't know if he'll play this Sunday. They may just have him. I think they'll ultimately have him rotating with Terrell and Obo, depending on how they do. I think when Justin Lawler becomes healthier, I think maybe he'll take up that place. Well, no, they have him on Floyd's side. They might just keep him there, Justin Lawler, that is. And they may pepper Jamir Jones in the rotation. But I don't know how much we'll see of him Sunday. He needs to get up to speed, and I don't know if this week he has enough time to do that. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. He has some good measurables, and he seems to be a physical football player. So you can't argue with that. So we'll see. We'll see how he does. I'm welcome to the team, Jamir. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you do. On to more news. Some good news, I think, here. Sean McVay expects Darrell Henderson to play against the Cardinals on Sunday. That is great. That is great. But Sony Michel should continue to be heavily involved. That's what I love that. Sony Michel, he needs to be on the field, too. He's a downhill runner, and I loved how he played on Sunday. It wasn't earth-shattering. It wasn't like anything you'll see on the highlight reel, but he was solid against a very physical, against a very tough defensive front in Tampa Bay. So let's see what's going on with Darrell. So there is a quote from Sean that says he will play. Sean McVay updated the media on the progress of the rib cartilage injury for Henderson, noting that the 30-year back participated in practice on Wednesday and that he expects Henderson to be ready to face the Cardinals on Sunday at SoFi. McVay was not willing to guarantee that Henderson would be active, and in any case, it would seem Sony Michel has earned more playing time moving forward. Okay, so according to Mr. Nick Carthrell here, McVay says Henderson participated in the walkthrough. Okay, he added he expects Henderson to play in Week 4 against the Cardinals, but isn't 100% on that at this time. Okay. As we know, he suffered that against the Colts and was inactive against the Bucs. Michel started, and he had some great pass blocking, which he did. He ran the ball 20 times for 67 yards. It now looks as though Henderson will be active. It's possible that Michel could start and get the bulk of the work. Henderson's injury right now is likely about pain tolerance, and he may be able to move without hindrance this Sunday. But the Rams also have a Thursday night game next week against the Seahawks, so McVay must also consider load management. Henderson has 29 carries for 123 yards, 4 catches for 46 yards in 2 games. And good old Jake Funk had his first carry for 6 yards in Week 3 against the Bucs. So, Henderson looks to be getting better. I'm glad to hear it wasn't super serious. If he does play, I don't expect Darrell to be involved a whole lot. I think this is a good opportunity with Sony playing well to just err on the side of caution with Darrell. I think maybe it'd be a good idea to maybe have him suit up, but maybe don't give him a whole lot of the carries, at least for this game. Kind of give him another week to really rest and get his injury squared away, because we're going to need him down the stretch. and there just really isn't an immediate need to have him come back at this time. I feel there's no need to rush him. We got Sony Michel. He's playing solid. Let Sony have the majority of the work this week. I think he can handle it and get Darrell healthy. And then that way he can come back 100%. And we can kind of have a 1-2 punch with him and Sony Michel at running back. This could work out so beautifully for us guys. I'm very proud of Sean and Les and how they have built this team with so many depth players, despite not having many draft picks, and despite not having any first round picks since I think Sean even got here. So I'm just so everywhere I look, guys go down, but we have guys who replace them play serviceable to good. So it that's a sign of a championship team, if to have depth players play decent enough to where your offense and or defense or whatever position it is without skipping a beat. So I'm proud of them for building this team in this way. So take it easy with Darrell. I want to see him back. I like Darrell a lot. I do. In the past I've called him injury prone. I believe he is. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just calling it like I see it. But I want him to be successful. So glad that he's back in practice. Maybe depending upon how he looks, maybe let him take it easy this week. Give it mostly to Sony, and we'll kind of monitor it from there. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Some a little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news. Justin Hollins is going to the IR, but I think he'll be back later in the year, which is good. And it seems that Darrell is on his way to mending too. So that's good. And we got a new linebacker to kind of watch and see how he performs. So we'll see. This is I'm liking the transactions that I'm seeing. So it's good. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm still riding high from that Bucks beatdown that we gave them on Sunday. I mean, I'm hoping the Rams have moved on to the Cardinals, which I'm sure they have. But I'm not part of the team. I'm a fan, so I can bask in the wonderful. Like, I actually took a photo of Brady just having his head down with the final score underneath it while he was sitting on the bench. I might have to upload that on here and show y'all in one of these videos. But I thought it was great. So that's going to be it for right now, guys. I will see you guys on the next one. And as always, go Rams.